Welcome, Fantasy Soda lovers, to Baldur's Gate 3 Ultra Modded Playthrough. I have compiled almost 400 mods that will allow for new customization and RNG throughout the game, which will allow it to pretty much feel like a brand new game. Before I dive in, there's just some ground rules I'd like to cover. I'll try to stick close to these rules as I possibly can as I go throughout the playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 here. Firstly, I'll be playing on Tactician difficulty. Auto mode would most likely give a challenge. However, I'd like to make it to the end of the game, even if the character dies. And of course, mods will most likely make it easier anyways. So there might not be a huge difference between Tactician and Honor mode in the end. There's also a mod that allows for increased party limits. I'll be capping the party limit to 5 because anything else above that is just way too easy. And I can only use a maximum of 4 inspiration per failed die roll. I can't use inspiration on nat 1s, so there'll be a mod that allows me to have uncapped inspiration. Per fails, I can only use 4, and if I get a nat 1, I just have to go with that nat 1, unfortunately. I've tested that out. It seems to be a good balance of difficulty. And then also, I'm going to try to limit myself to only a few modded spells, because some can be quite strong, and that's only for per character, not necessarily for the entire party. I'll be limiting spells, but definitely for the character. There'll be other nerfs along the way as well. As I progress, I may get armor that is too overpowered right for the start, and I'll try my best to either just store that in the camp for the time being, or sell it, even if that means I have to rob the traders blind. That's okay. I won't be too mad about that one. And then I'll be playing on a controller, even though I'm on a PC, because I find the movement is better, even though there is a WASD movement mod. I prefer the controller and how that feels, and I also like the UI as well. That being said, I might switch in between mouse and controller, because there's a mod that allows me to know every single damage type I'm inputting when I make an attack. I may not always be doing that because the game doesn't like to be switching between mouse and controller, and it may cause some lag or some frame drops. So I won't always be doing that, but if I have a character whose melee attack is doing a lot of damage, a lot of different damage types, then in that case, I will be. And then, of course, have fun. Try not to crash out when I mess up something important. Alright, let's get started. Tactician difficulty. And I'll try not to talk too much over important cutscenes, like this intro one. All right. So, for the build, I will most likely be playing a rogue. Now, ranger is up for debate there because there is a really good ranger modded subclass where you get a dragon as you go. But I was also maybe thinking playing an arcane trickster rogue subclass because I got to use a little bit of mod spells and I can also buff myself along the way. As for the race and sub race, I am thinking about doing a half elf of some sort. Most likely either the Lorendrau because you get that boost to stealth, or the Athari half elf because you get that boost to carrying capacity and jumping. And if you're a rogue, you don't necessarily get a far jump because you're using dexterity. So those will be most likely the two I choose from. Another one I will be thinking of is half orc also. I have a few other modded races here, but I won't be even this little kobold, which would be kind of fun. I won't be going through with those just because to get the full aspect of all the mods in here, I think some of the vanilla ones you kind of have to start off with as well. So I'll come back to you in a second once I've figured out what I'm going to go through with. Okay, so I think I've locked it in as the Lorendrau, just because I wanted that +5 boost to stealth. You do get a bonus cantrip, but as an arcane trickster, in the end you use wisdom, or you don't use wisdom, you use intelligence, and this is calling for wisdom with the cantrip. So I think maybe the best route here to go is just poison spray and maybe not use it. As a stealth character, I think light is kind of what you don't want. So ultimately, I'll just go with poison spray here, as well as I'll select the half drow ancestry as well as Baldurian. Stick with that with the rogue class, urchin background, and I'm going to get rid of the wisdom and bump it into intelligence, and then probably leave it at a +1 then. That's actually, that one's kind of tough to choose from. I can boost it at level 4, +1/+1. Okay, that's what I'll do. I think I'll stick with that. The skills, I do just want to make sure. Acrobatics will leave it +7, but I'm going to get rid of performance in favor of intimidation. I think in this game you have more intimidation checks than you do performance checks, so we'll stick with that one there. As well as expertise, I am gonna get rid of acrobatics, and go into stealth, of course, just so I can be sneaking around a lot more. Appearance, alright, let's see, of course gotta make the most handsomest boy available. I think this is what we'll be rocking with here.
What?
What was that? Well, something just woke up,
I'll rock with that wish, why not? Right, look at the game, alright. Another one drop, you come from like underdark jungles or jungle areas. Or something like that. Scroll further down, okay, hold on. Oh, thanks. Yeah, let's have that. Decomposed. Truly decomposed. Is what I'm saying? Decomposed. Truly decomposed. You like that stuff today? Not indeed. Do that. Add some freckles in. That works. Put stars on as well. No character, doesn't bring characters like stars. This one. That's not one. Star. I do this quickly because it's less moody. Get rid of the very dark eyeshadow there. Change the eye color. Do something brown. Those eyes look like Christmas Alright, so here's who we have. We have Roland Roundtown, the Lauren Drow half-elf. Rogue.
You need a guardian.
Alright, let me quickly get through the Guardian, and then I'll be back with the rest. Okay, so the Dream Visitor is complete.
My head.
Okay, so rolling around town, awakes in the damaged nautiloid, deep in the nine hells, in Avernus. I think that ends session 0.